called The Futile Death of Two Sensible Soldiers. A friend of mine was unemployed. He didn't know what to do. So he went down to the army office and said, "I want to join you." So they sent him off to war for something he didn't know. They put a gun in his hand and said, "Shoot the ones across the road." So he squatted down in the mud, with the shit, the bodies, the bullets and blood, trying to think of the ones he loved, trying to ignore all the death and the pain. Then he saw the enemy come up to him. He got his gun and went over to them. He looked them straight in the eye. "That's the first mistake," the officers replied. For he saw a young man about his age. He said, "You're the enemy. I will shoot you dead." The man said, "Why?" and stood there still. My friend was silent and thought a lot. His mind went crazy. He couldn't shoot. He couldn't see why the war was on. Why was he fighting? What's to be won? Why shoot a man the same as him? So he put his gun on the ground. And the enemy did the same. Then the officers went up to them and shot them both in the brain and said they should have played the game and went back from where they came to carry on the war, like all those times before, safe in their bunkers with a gin and a straw. Next one. Most of us, I imagine, been to supermarkets or newsagents and seen all the lifestyle magazines, row upon row upon row, aimed at everybody. But for what it's worth, this is my particular take on the myriad of lifestyle magazines, particularly aimed at women. It's called Whose Image? As soon as we're born, we're expected to be the image so fitting for the gender decreed, living with rigid labels applied, whether male or female, gay or straight, lesbian, trans or bi, to fit their perception of a good little girl. Don't question or challenge or have a thought of your own. And always remember to love, honour and obey. Be a hawk in the boardroom, a mother and a wife, a goddess in the kitchen and a whore in the night. Being judged by the clothes that fashion tempts you to wear, by the size of your breasts and the colour of your hair, by the height of your heels and the glow of your skin, or how big your bum looks in tight-fitting jeans. Aspire to be Beyonce, Rihanna or Kim, those icons of perfection, so you can detest your own skin. Stock up on the products, inject your own face, cut bits off your body and eat less and less. Follow each diet, new fad or regime, or the next thin inspiration from another magazine. Those Bibles that dictate how women should be, how they should look and behave, to avoid getting older as something to fear. Where your bum is too big, you orgasm too little. Your breasts are too small and your hair is too brittle. Where your teeth aren't so white and there's some fat on your tongue. Oh, there's a hair near your top lip and a zit on your bum. Where your curves are not killer. Your bodies are not beach. You never work your wardrobe and you keep becoming the crap that you eat. When craving a boyfriend from a chart-topping band, make sure your vagina's symmetrical and shaved nice and neat, and never get caught with no makeup or unpedicured feet. You should be the boss in the bedroom. Have sex every day. Share each shag on your Facebook. Share each shag on your Facebook. Oh, and vibrate your G-spot away. Forget that. But hold the front page of these lifestyle mags. Is something being missed amongst the glossy covers and ads? As men, rightly get criticised for objectifying girls. Those women that create such judgmental rags just keep getting richer and richer to buy more Prada bags, whilst most other women risk abuse every day and in their part-time jobs exist on minimum wage, worrying more about paying their rent than on what new makeup to wear or what goes on in their beds. Thank you. At this time, I just wanted to share one particular one. It's the first opportunity I've had to just do it in a public arena, really. It's something I've been working on recently. It was inspired by just some images that I saw from somebody talking about their experiences, what happened in a very suburban street, and it's called Behind the Curtains Fairy Tale. I want a home, she said. I want a place to rest my head. Somewhere that's warm and dry, somewhere I can go and hide. Away from the jackals, vultures and dragons, away from the drugs, the pimps and the cops, the lying and cheating and wanting to die. As she's forced to have sex for the millionth time. Befriended and groomed outside the school gate at 14 years old, her fate was set. Given things she wanted, told she was loved, the boyfriend she longed for became the family she'd lost. Her trust being bought with drugs as the cosh. The control soon increased and the doors became locked. As her dependency took over, the violence got worse. Every day became the same until her freedom was lost. In an ordinary street, row upon row, with neighbours next door that nobody knows. Hidden from vision behind closed doors, unaware of the person that existed before. Locked in a bedroom, curtains shut tight, with shadows moving past through the day and at night, dreading a shape stopping, with a knock on the door as the next filthy man enters to abuse her once more. Surrounded by the stench of yesterday's sweat, the stale tobacco breath engulfing her face, the moaning, the groping, the scratching, the tearing, the stretching, the squeezing, the biting, the hitting. The bruises on her body will eventually fade, but the thoughts that still haunt her will keep her imprisoned in a cell with no key, far away from the paradise she so longs to be. Imagining a hideaway where she can choose when to get up, when to go to bed and who she might fuck. A place where the sun can fall on her face without looking over her shoulder with fear and regret. Letting the rain drench her soul so clean, washing the blood away from the blows to her skin. Closing her eyes, she is dreaming again about a fantasy land so different to this. A fairy tale story in search of a prince to save her from this hell, confined in a tower with nowhere to go. But no hero climbing her hair or kissing her lips, no crossing her fingers and making a wish, no asking the good witch for her dreams to come true, no happy ever after as midnight chimes and the fantasy is through. To drown out the screams from above and below, she sings so sweetly her childhood songs, remembering the days before she descended to hell, before those she loved left her and her castle walls fell. With a violent thump on the locked bedroom door, took too long to answer, so smashed to the floor, strangled to an inch of her last life-giving breath, waking up later with a bruised and bloodied face, sitting alone, life draining away, so little energy to hope for a happier day. But will those that pass by her curtain windows today, when seeing the shadows behind and the shapes on display, ever wonder about the story within, the true life fairy tale of the forgotten girl that still sings? Thank you very much. Freeze.